Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. It's Saturday morning. Today is not a teaching video, but this is just kind of the types of chores I have to take care of on my homestead on a Saturday. Slept in a little bit this morning, stayed up watching my son, who's now the offensive coordinator for their high school team, and my brother, who's the head coach, win a big football game last night, so that was fun. And I got to take care of box elder bugs, get some culvert in the ground, check on the hobbit house, check on the animals, different things. I'll take you around and maybe comment briefly on why I'm doing certain things. I happen to be mixing up a gallon of mixed gas right now. I always only do a gallon because I want to make sure if I don't use it for a while, it is fresh and ready to go. So I'm going to be mixing that, put it in the sprayer, and taking care of box elder bugs in just a minute. Picked up some more feed yesterday when I was going to get culvert. I had the truck out that I get some feed. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the ability to drive right down next to my barn, so I'm always carrying feed bags up and down the hill. It's not terribly far, but it is pretty steep. I guess it'll keep me young or make me old fast, one or the other. But I'm always carrying these on my shoulder down the hill. Chickens! There you go. Get in there. Throw chicken scratch out every morning. Interesting story. I was going to say funny, but it's not funny story. Well, I had a church small group. They meet on Wednesdays at our house. They were up on the deck, right up there, looking down at the animals, and they're saying, "How has it been with free-range chickens and predators?" And I said, "I haven't lost a bird in a long time. They're doing really good." And the next morning, I woke up and just poof, a pile of feathers and a bird gone. It just seems to happen that way. My sheep are over across the canyon. Just have my goats here. Give them a little grain, then I'll go check on the sheep. One thing I'm glad I'm not going to be doing anymore is moving irrigation. You can see I have a nice green pasture. Not tall grass yet, but this had all died out, and I've been moving irrigation for months every day on this, getting this to grow back green. You can see up here where it hasn't been irrigated how dry it is and not growing. That's how the rest of it looks. But I've been putting on several thousand gallons a day on a few acres here, getting this to come back, and the September rains are supposed to start coming in full force. In the next couple days, I will not have to irrigate again. As we hike across the Creek Canyon on our way to go get the sheep, you always got to feed a scoop to the trout in the pond. Okay, I'm across the Creek Canyon. This is my property here, but I've opened up the fence to go into the neighbor's property. They're really enjoying my goats and sheep clearing the blackberries off of their property. I was going to come over here and feed them a little bit and check on them, but then the neighbor just texted and said one of my ram lambs got out and is on the other side of the fence. I was going to come back and bring him back to my place tomorrow, but since we got him out, I got to get him and get him back over here. Now normally I just open the fence and the sheep run because I leave grain for them at the barn, and they run down the canyon across and up there and they race there. I can't do that right now because I only have 6 of the 7 sheep right here, and I have to go get the other one. If I let them run up and they eat up the grain and the fence is open and I'm still working on getting this one, they're going to come running back and then we're going to have a mess. So I got to go get the 7th sheep with the 6. Not the 90, leaving the 99 to get the 1, but the 7 sheep to get the 6, the 7th sheep with the 6, and then I'll let them all run back together at once. You're all nervous now because you got yourself in a bad spot on the other side of the fence. Should have stayed with the herd. I'll come and get you. I had this portable electric net fencing up, keeping them in, but I think it's been grounded out, so I'm gonna pull this out of the way and get him back with the rest of the herd. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, boss. Here's the difference it makes having goats and sheep. On that side of this fence is what it looks like naturally. On this side is what happens when you have goats and sheep running through it. So just collected the eggs. I always get people asking me, do you actually save money having your own chickens over buying your own eggs? And first of all, the answer is yes. But besides that point, you have healthy, fresh eggs. My chickens free range. I do give them feed, but they also free range. So the nutrient level of the eggs is excellent. They're fresh, and they're doing really good. As far as I haven't done an exact count, but that bag, 50-pound bag of feed that I carried down, I'm going to be getting at least 10 dozen eggs, I would say at the very least, before that's gone. And I have my own eggs, and the extras I sell for $5 a dozen. So I'm doing quite well with my chickens. And that is why we've had them on our homestead for nearly 30 years. Let's pick a pear or two while we're here. The pears are ripe if you grab them and tip them up 90 degrees and they break off. That one did not. This one broke off easily. This one broke off easily. So tip it, they break off, they're ready to go. This one that didn't break off, not quite ready yet. Now to something I didn't want to be doing today, but I need to do. My house here in the Pacific Northwest out in the woods gets covered with box elder bugs and has had some severe problems with it. They can be there by the thousands, tens of thousands on your house if they so choose. And it got so bad that we started hiring an exterminator and paying them $300 in the spring and then come back $300 in the fall to do it again, and trying to get rid of them. And certain things bug people more than they should. I mean, this does bug people a lot, but my wife is pretty easygoing. But when the box elder bugs cover the outside of the house and then start finding their ways in, it just really irritates her, so I have to get rid of it. But having a backpack blower that I use on the Christmas tree farm, I found this Harris Asian ladybug killer. It does kill box elder bugs. It's the first thing I found that kills box elder bugs. I used half of this in the spring, and I'm going to use the other half today, and it's going to work just as well as when we brought in professionals. And this whole thing cost about $25 as opposed to $300. So I'm not a big fan of spraying a lot of chemicals. I will be putting on a hat, gloves, respirator, goggles, and everything else, and I will take a shower as soon as I'm done. But it's going to keep the box elder bugs away and then keep my wife sane.
And when the wife's happy, everybody's happy.
I have about 1.5 gallons of water in here. And this doesn't say to dilute, but I found that it works diluted in that. And by putting it in this amount of water, it sprays out of my backpack blower really well. And I know that this is about the amount of spray I need to get, about the amount of gallons I need to have to get my entire house done. Came down to the lower property. I've got a lot of things to do here. I was going to check the firewood stand, and I was sure I was going to have to make more bundles today, but I don't. There's still plenty of bundles here. Sales have been really slow this month, and I was getting concerned, like, what's going on? Why am I not selling bundles? But then I keep good records of how many bundles I sold, and September has been the lowest sales month each year for the last 3 years. And so I'm not sure why it is. I do know we get into a burn ban. Technically, you still can have fire pits, but some of the public campgrounds up the river here, they close their fire pits when the burn ban is on. And then so that lessens the need for firewood. And then, people are back in school and whatnot. As the hunting season, the cold weather, and the burn ban is off, firewood sales will pick back up. Okay, I haven't been keeping the camera rolling. I've been sitting on my excavator for about an hour. Behind me, you can see brush that I'm clearing out because I'm going to be leveling out a spot on my homestead. I'm getting a dozer here soon. in front of me is my bucket that I need to keep taking down. So I'm picking up my bucket and throwing it as I work my way down this steep hill, ripping out this brush so that I can burn it and have it out of the way when the dozer gets here. Okay, the jobs that I was doing are not what I had in mind for today's task, but I was moving my excavator down, and you try to make use of your time. That's why I was tearing out the brush on the way down, and as I continued down to my next project, there's logs sitting here that I had dragged out with my commander. When the excavator goes by, I grab it and stack these up. There was a much larger pile of these before, but this is a pile where I can back up my pickup with a large trailer. I've hauled out a couple loads now on my trailer to get them out of the way. And onto the job I actually came down here to do. Now I'm starting the project that I came down here to do. I'm taking a trench so I can put that culvert in that you see on the left. I am going to build a road from the existing road up this steep hill that you see on the right. This is a section of the property that I really don't have much access to, and I'm going to explore building a trail. It does appear extremely steep right there on the right, but I will angle back up against the hillside and hopefully have room. This ground, as I dug, proved to be much harder than normal on my property. Lots of big boulders in it, and the clay was really dry and packed hard. So the trail building took a little longer than expected. My wife loves it when I find big boulders though. She thinks they belong in the yard. So we're going to claw out the side of this hill to begin with and cover the culvert, and then we'll start working our way up the hill. I'm going to do a little time lapse for you now so you don't have to see the whole thing, but I'm just working my way up, keeping the tracks level, knocking down the trees, moving the dirt. As soon as I can get a quad up there, then I can explore, and if it looks good enough, hopefully widen it up so I can get a pickup up there. Taking my excavator back to the storage shed. Once again, I can't go anywhere without doing projects. My excavator is one of my favorite weed whackers. You can see all these vines growing up from the blackberry vines over there. It's so nice to just take your excavator, slide this in the gravel, and take all those vines that were in your driveway off into the distance. Also good for this. Well, there's a Saturday on the homestead. I didn't get as many projects done as I wanted to, which is always the case. My boys will tell me, oh, it always took longer than you said. But also, once I got on the excavator, I tend to just stay there and go, go, go. I've told my wife, if I could get a job where I just built trails through the woods on an excavator, I'd be a happy man. But so once I got on the excavator and started clearing stuff, I stayed there. I didn't get to splitting the firewood here and throwing it on the stack, so I'm going to need to cover that up. We got a week of rain coming now, so it's time to cover this up with the tarp until we get some drier weather. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching, cleaning, horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Hope to see you again soon. Be blessed, everyone.